Salam, hello, and welcome to another episode of Silly Points Cricket. Before we start this video, actually, we just wanted to say to all the viewers who have watched our videos, thank you. We appreciate the views. We've hit a, we're not a very large channel right now. It's, we do want to grow, but, we reached a small little milestone of 250 unique viewers on YouTube. So we want to say thank you. And, if you are new to the channel or you watch this channel and you have not yet subscribed or liked the video, please do hit the subscribe button, like the video, and please share it on YouTube and Instagram. You can view our handles down below in the description, and we would really, really appreciate that. This is something that we take pretty seriously. We want to grow the channel, and I think we can be successful with all your help and prayers. So let's get right into it. I'm joined here by Taufeeq. Taufeeq, how you doing?
Excellent, man. Had a little bit of a scare, which is why we're doing this not together in a single room. But alhamdulillah, everything is fine. Baby boy had a fever for a day, but it eventually caught up to us.
Yeah, we've been playing hide and seek with COVID. You haven't gotten it yet, right?
No, I still haven't. I've been tested negative, but it's just astonishing how it spreads into a family, but not everybody gets it still. So
yeah, we had a bit of a scare over the weekend as well, but alhamdulillah, everything worked out fine. And yeah, we still haven't got it. Triple jabbed, I think that's helping, regardless of what pundits or people who've done their research say. But so let's get into it. So what the topic that we are talking about today, it's about to start in about 10 hours, is the PSL. The Pakistani Super League is back, season 7, and it promises to be one of the best seasons. It's back in Pakistan. We're going to be playing in Lahore and Karachi, I believe. But that being said, some early signs, Taufeeq, that this was not going to happen.
yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of worry that the PSL could be delayed, right? There was the MQMP protesters and police that had a clash.
Right.
That canceled a couple of games. Actually, it weren't even games. They were like practice sessions, net practice sessions, I believe. And so those got canceled. But as far as I've researched everything online, there's still 10 hours for things to turn sour. But for now, it seems like game on.
Yeah, Pakistan obviously has to deal with a lot of things when it comes to, is the tournament going to happen or is it not going to happen, right? It's, we got like presidential escorts. We've got, armored plate
SWAT
cars,
teams, man.
SWAT teams, snipers. And now we have to deal with MQM supporters for, they can do their stuff. But, there was a time in, where this wouldn't happen. And I'm really hopeful that nothing will happen. I mean, obviously, if COVID gets you, COVID gets you. That shouldn't be a reason to stop the tournament, because a lot is riding on this tournament. I think, a successful PSL will give more credibility to when Australia, New Zealand, and England are supposed to visit later this year. So fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so fingers crossed that, this tournament goes well. But let's get into it. Who are you supporting?
Supporting Peshawar Zami. I'm Pushtun myself, from Baichard area, close to Mardan. So that's where I'm from, and I'm supporting Peshawar. Although I don't think they're gonna win, but we'll get to that.
Oh, you don't think Peshawar? Yeah, you're a Peshawar fan. Yeah, I'm a poor old, very upset Lahore Qalandars fan. So at least you won. How many titles has Peshawar won?
I think one at least, if not two.
Right. So Lahore Qalandars hasn't even won one. I think we're the only team that hasn't won the PSL yet, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last 6 years.
Last 6 years. I mean, I think the first 4 years we did finish last every time.
Yeah, I think one of the times you guys got close, maybe the last season, you guys got to the final, right? Against
we got.
Or was it the season before that? You guys have made the final once.
Yeah, we made it last year. When big Ben Dunk was at the helm, he was going crazy. And Mohammad Hafiz, that's when Hafiz hit form and changed it around in T20 cricket. You know, so it's gonna be kind of wild. But let's start. Okay, so there's 6 teams:
Yep.
Quetta Gladiators, Peshawar Zalmi, Multan Sultans, Karachi Kings, Islamabad United, and Lahore Qalandars. Let's start from the top. Who do you want to start off with?
I'll start off with Karachi Kings. So it's going to be led by the nation's pride and joy, Babar Azam,
Right.
leading run scorer last season,
Okay.
but has been out of form as of late, right? We've been talking about that in our previous episodes. He's been a little out of form, and so it'll be interesting if he gets back in form. And I think it's going to be the best. He's got the best partner in crime to do this in Sharjeel, because he can really take the pressure off of you on the non-strikers, and because he's just going to have high scoring ability if he sticks around, and then Babar can take his time to get in the game and then rotate a strike like he always does and maintains a strike rate of 100. I don't know how. But I think that Sharjeel is going to suit him up there in front with him. And so you'll see there's a lot of other players in the team, Imad Wasim, Mohammad Nabi, Mohammad Amir, some other big names out there. Chris Jordan, hopefully he's not in that series against West Indies. So there might be a lot of these teams that we go through. It'll be interesting to see how many of those players are there, especially from England and West Indies, right at the beginning of the season, because they have their own series going on right now.
Yeah, spot on. You know, Babar's the guy who everyone's going to tune in to watch, right? But there's another guy on that team, Qasim Akram. He's the under-19 Pakistan captain, right? So he's going to learn from the national team captain. So he's right now, I think Pakistan under-19's got a quarterfinal against Australia tomorrow, I think, or the day after. So Qasim Akram won't be playing probably the first couple of games, but that's going to be interesting to see what the dynamic, if he picks anything up. But yeah, otherwise spot on. Mohammad Amir, I haven't seen that guy in a while.
It'll be interesting how he plays. I mean, that's all he's doing now, right? He's retired from international cricket, so to speak. So he's making some good money, and so he's gonna have to perform, because if he doesn't, then his last source of revenue is gone, essentially.
Right. And then Mohammad Nabi, you know, he's going to be a key component in that middle order and with the bowling. So you know, overall, where do you think? Strong, medium, or poor?
I think it's a decent team, but I really want to talk about Islamabad United, because I think that team, if you look at that squad, man, it's got the most representation from Pakistan's current national squad. So it's got Asif Ali, Hassan Ali, Shadab Khan, Fahim Ashraf, Mohammad Wasim Jr. in there too. So Azam Khan is not in the national squad, but another well-known name. And that's just, you look at that squad, and it's a bunch of all-rounders that are bowling all-rounders mostly, but their batting is not too shabby either. And then you look at their power hitting ability. Hassan Ali has it, Asif Ali has it, Shadab Khan has it, or has been developing it recently. And Mohammad Wasim Jr., which we haven't seen much of, but apparently he's a good all-rounder as well. And then it's not just the all-rounders, right? You'd say that this team is just stacked with all-rounders. You look at their openers, they've got Paul Sterling and Colin Monroe, Azam Khan. They've got a bunch of Alex Hales.
Right.
So I think this is my favorite team going forward, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, but I see weaknesses. I really do. You know my view on Hassan Ali. And it's going to be very interesting to see how he performs on docile pitches in Pakistan, right? And especially, but he does specialize in T20. I mean, he's you know,
he's a wicket taker.
He's a wicket taker, right? And he'll be used to the Pakistani conditions. But let's see how he rebounds from that World Cup, right? Has he learned anything? I personally don't think Islamabad's the strongest. I'll get into who I think is the strongest. I just think that there's too many weak links there. I mean, I think they don't have the strongest openers in my opinion. I think it's Alex Hales, and who else is going to open with that? Paul Sterling, Colin Monroe.
Yeah.
Right?
Colin Monroe, maybe.
Yeah. And then they don't have a strong. I know you like Hassan Ali. I don't. They don't have a strong frontline bowler. I know. Yeah, Mohammad Wasim.
They don't. I agree with you. They don't. But I feel like this team is a team that can essentially chase anything as long as they bowl decently. That's just how much depth they have in their batting lineup. But we'll see. You're right. I mean, anything can happen in T20, right?
Right. So let's move on. Then we've got Peshawar Zalmi.
Yep.
So, this team, I really like. I think they're one of the stronger teams. With Wahab Riaz, Shoaib Malik. So these two guys, I don't know if you've noticed, and if our fans know, they have been winning tournament after tournament around the franchise cricket league, right?
Yep.
They've won the latest, I think, the T10 tournament that just happened recently. They won a bunch of other T20, so they keep winning back to back. Caribbean one, yeah.
And then the Bangladesh.
So so both of them are like mainstays, and I think that's going to be huge in this tournament, right? And then
But it does give an aging feel to the team, doesn't it?
it's T20, and and Wahab Riaz is a pretty fit guy, as is Malik, right? They don't show any signs of slowing down, and they're playing in their backyard. I don't really see that being an issue. And
Heather Ali will be one to watch, don't you think?
yeah, so if you were to ask me who are my 2 or 3 young players to watch, Heather Ali is like a top pick on that. So they've got exciting players. I mean, they've also got Kamran Akmal, right, who somehow managed to stay on the team.
Somehow managed to stay on the team.
Yeah. Hazratullah Zazai is a pretty, I would say, strong. He can score 20, 30
Power
runs.
hitter,
Liam Livingston can do some damage as well in the middle. And then they also have Usman Qadir, right?
It'll be interesting to see his role, especially because I think he was overshadowed a little bit in his prior team. I don't know what team it was. Was it Islamabad United? That it was last season?
Usman
I
Qadir.
think it was, and he was along with Shadab Khan, and I felt like Shadab Khan was getting a lot more playtime. Obviously, he was the captain.
Right, as the captain,
well,
yeah.
It'll be interesting how his role plays out this time around.
Right, exactly. So let's see what happens with Peshawar, but they're always a strong team.
Historically they have been.
Right, exactly. So, in my book, one of the stronger teams. Then moving on, we've got Kuwait Gladiators. I'm gonna just come out and say it. Which team in their right mind decides, all right, let's pick up Shaheen Shah Afridi and Omar Akmal at the same time? If there was a prize on stupidest picks for this thing, I think it would have to go to Kuwait Gladiators. Not so much with the Afridi thing, that's fine in a vacuum, but then they also picked up Omar Akmal, which for the life of me, I don't understand why they would do such a thing.
So you don't believe in old is gold, and you don't believe in second chances.
Omar Akmal has a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chance, man.
That's true. Yeah,
he's I don't know why, and he's overweight. He just doesn't. I mean, have you seen his Instagram videos?
Yeah, they're extremely odd and obnoxious. But I mean, I have to give credit to Sarfraz. He has gotten back in shape, and I feel like this is his last shot before like the next T20 World Cup to get in. But I just don't see a door. I don't see a door for him to get in. Like just the way Mohammad Rizwan's playing, he did just be picking up an extra keeper for.
Yeah, I think they're gonna rely on 3 players this tournament. One's Jason Roy, right?
Yeah.
Jason Roy is a very underrated batsman in the limited ODI. Like he's very, very good. They're gonna rely on James Vince, right? So those 2 up in the order, if they get going, very destructive, right? And then the third player is who I think can make a difference is Iftikhar Ahmed. Right.
He can make a big difference. I think that was a good pick for them. But also Faulkner, man. I think he did really well, statistically at least last season. He picked up some wickets, and I think
he's fell off the map a little bit. But who I was going to say my last pick was Mohammad Nawaz. He's on that team as well, right?
Yeah.
And up front with the bowling, because their fast bowling is kind of bad actually. Naveen Al-Haq dropped out, correct?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he dropped out and decided to play the Bangladesh league. And that was because of his rift with Shaheen Afridi. Or supposedly that's why he dropped out. But they've got Mohammad Hasnain and they've got Naseem Shah, right?
And Mohammad Hasnain has been called for suspect action in the Big Bash League, so that'll be interesting if the results of that come through, or if he has to go through testing beforehand, or what.
Right. So let's see. They're not a bad team by any means, but they're not a well balanced team. There's too many holes in there, and it'll be interesting to see. Hey, you know what? At the end of the tournament, I might be eating humble pie. Umar Akmal gets, but the guy's been on tour in America for the last 2-3 months. I don't really know if he's in any shape to play.
I wouldn't be surprised if he like joins like some sort of a tape ball league in like Houston. Honestly,
yeah, he was selling homes. He was with he joined with a small realtor company and became the brand ambassador for them, and is selling houses. And that's I don't know.
Different topic. Moving on. Lahore Qalandars.
Lahore Qalandars. So that's my team. And who I also back to actually, well, I don't back them to win, but I back them to make the finals. And there's simply two reasons for that. One, they have the best bowling lineup, I think, by far. They got Rashid Khan and Shaheen Shah Afridi, who I think those two alone can win you games single-handedly, right? And they've got Haris Rauf and David Weiss. Yeah. And Hafiz will bowl, and he's pretty useful in those conditions too. Yeah. Right? So there's not...
So not to be a spoiler, but Rashid Khan didn't do so hot last season in the PSL.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know why. I was surprised as well. I was thinking he's going to be at the top, amongst the top wicket takers.
Yeah, he's going to get a little bit more
Hassan Ali was, though.
He's going to get a little bit more joy in Pakistani pitches, hopefully this time around. Yeah. Maybe we'll be more used to the conditions. And then, but to supplement that, they've also got good batting. Fakhar Zaman, they've got Muhammad Hafiz, Abdullah Shafiq. I think picking up, Dean Foxcroft was a good pick, so they've definitely got some players there who I think, they're going to rely on their bowling, but they have enough batting, I think, to back it up. On paper, at least, I think they're the second best team in the league. But the best team is best saving the best for last is Multan Sultans. What do you think?
So they were champions last season, right? But honestly, I'm going to go on a limb and say they're going to be one of the worst, if not the worst performing team this season.
Really?
Hear me out.
What?
Okay,
I think they're the best and you think they're the worst?
Yeah, hear me out.
This will be
the
good.
reason is because their team hasn't changed much. And if you remember, last season, the season was split because of COVID.
Right.
And before the season started, they were playing in Pakistan and they were like 1 win out of 5 or something like that. And then their fortunes turned around when the second half of the season was played in UAE, and literally they won like 8 out of their 9 games or something like that. Something ridiculous. And they literally won all their games. And now they're going to be playing all their games in Pakistan. That's my only inkling.
Right.
And the fact that the team is the same, right? I mean, all of these teams are really good, to be frank. I was pretty pleased. I mean, they're not IPL type of names, but these are still really good names for Pakistani Super League standards, and this team is pretty good too, but something tells me something's off. Statistically, I had to just pick on that.
I mean, I see your point. I mean, maybe on paper they're not as strong, but they have some big players there. Khujdal Shah, Sohail Maqsood, Mohammad Rizwan, Imran Tahir, Riley Rousseau, Anwar Ali, Imran Khan, Roman Rais. I think, they're a team that you look on paper and you're like, okay, they don't stick out, but as a team, they can play really well, right? And I think that's what they've proven these last few years is that, but they don't have, I think it was Iftikhar Ahmed who was on Multan Sultans last year, right? Yeah, so they don't have him.
But they picked somebody that I thought was still relatively good. I'm trying to remember who it was. It passes my mind now. But anyway, like one of the things that I noticed was they're relying heavily on Mohammad Rizwan and Dahani. If you look at the last season and how well they did, Dahani was the highest wicket taker,
right? And
Rizwan was the second highest run scorer after Babar Azam. And that to me is just, again, it's like 2 seasons in a row, especially now. Dahani didn't have anything to lose back then.
Right.
Now he's got a lot more to lose. He's made the national team. Eyes are on him. He's going to be the future star. His character is going to be tested here.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those teams I think has to come together. And if they do, they're very dangerous. But if they don't, then they're individually they're not as good as maybe other teams, right? So maybe I'm overestimating them, but I like a good, like they are the closest to Pakistan as a national team, where everyone has a role and they're going to have to play that role.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that. But sorry, we missed one point.
Yeah.
Just going back to Lahore Qalandars.
I was gonna say, we forgot.
Yeah, the big news there is that Shaheen Shah Afridi is captain. Do you think that was the right call?
For Shaheen Shah Afridi?
For
both his personal
for him and the franchise.
For the franchise, I don't think it was that big of a problem. He'll do fine. I wouldn't read too much into it, what it really means for the franchise. I think this is more about grooming players for the Pakistan national team, to be frank with you. You see all the leaders in each of the franchises are basically Pakistan national team representatives. And from that standpoint, I think it was unnecessary burden. I don't think PCB or whoever has been pushing this on Afridi should have even brought it up. You've got Mohammad Rizwan, you've got Babar, you've got Shadab. You tried this. This actually, he's the youngest now. But last season, Shadab was the youngest captain for Islamabad United. And the age difference was only 1 year, I think. He was 22.
Right.
He's Shaheen Shah Afridi, he's 21.
Right.
And how well did that play out for Islamabad United? Islamabad United had an amazing team last season. And I just don't... It was just one level of additional burden. And you look at the wickets list, Shadab was like 9 wickets out of 11 innings. And then you've got Dans getting like 20 out of 11 or 10 innings.
Right.
Stark difference, right? And you... On Shadab's day, he can pick up 9 in like 3 games. So you can't say, oh, it was UAE conditions or, oh, it was Pakistan conditions. I don't care where he plays. He should have gotten a little bit more than 9. But it was an extra burden on him. I saw him like going like 2 down, 3 down. I just don't want something like that to happen with Shaheen Shah Afridi. That's what worries me. It was an additional burden, unnecessary burden on him. From his standpoint, though, I think it's a good thing. If he's ambitious, he wants to learn more, he wants to take more responsibility, he's going to be in a lot of pressure situations representing Pakistan, even if he's not a captain. And so if you can get those instincts in the form of being a captain of a franchise club, why not? I can see that from his standpoint. But from a Pakistan representation standpoint,
Right.
You're in the Babar era, man.
But who would you, but if not Shaheen, who would you have picked? Fakhar?
It's difficult because who was it before? He's not even on the team anymore.
No, it was Sohail Akhtar.
Oh, Sohail Akhtar,
Yeah. So it was him before. I mean, you could have given it to Hafiz, I suppose, but then there's no longevity in that. Fakhar. But see, the thing is, the goal should have been for... So I'll say one thing. Out of all the franchises, Lahore has the best setup as a franchise. They do things that are actually beyond just the PSL. So they have the best recruitment. They have the best... Along with Islamabad, I think they have the best social media. They do activities that enhances the franchise, right? So they build the fast bowling competition, the academy. That's how I believe Harris Ralph was unearthed, right? And a bunch of other bowlers. So
so they are doing a lot more,
right? So in one sense, you can say Qalandars are doing their job as a franchise. Now, as a successful team. Was Shaheen Shah Afridi right? Is he the best choice? Because Qalandars need to win, right? Or at least do very, very well. They can ill afford another failure, not making it past the group stages or whatever. So the way I look at it is that there is a lot of pressure on Shaheen Shah Afridi, but he has the tools to succeed. So it'll be interesting to see, how we go from there. Do you know who the coach is? It used to be Aqib Javed, but I don't know if he still is the coach. Let's look let's look at the who the coach is. But I think it's still Aqib Javed. So he took a lot of heat actually, Aqib on Lahore. Let's see how he performs this time. But okay, so let's just go. So you think Islamabad is going to win?
Yep. I think they're going to win. In summary, I think they've got really good all-rounders and openers, decent enough. Their bowling is lacking, but I feel like their batting lineup is so deep that in a 20-over game, they can essentially chase anything as long as their bowlers do semi-decently.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think this is going to be the closest IPL. Oh my God, this is going to be the closest. This is going to be the closest PSL that we've seen. And you made me change my mind on Multan a little bit. You know what? I'm going to go
Watch
out.
out, man. I'm going on a limb.
I'm going out on a limb too. I'm going to say. I mean, is it really a limb? I just think Lahore's going to win. I think their bowling's too strong. I really do. I think they will knock.
See, I'm not going to change your mind, but there is something about Lahore Qalandars that they've always had big names on their teams, and they have always fallen short.
Yeah, but they've always, I mean, you know, they've had a young Shaheen Shah Afridi, a young Harris Raw. These guys are coming into their own element, right? And I think their batting has picked up. You know, Hafiz will probably will want to do well. This could be his last IPL. Oh my God, IPL! What is wrong with me?
You need some sleep, man.
I know, man. It's like 10:53 here. This is going to be his last PSL, possibly, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, they've made some other astute picks. You know, they've got Sohail Akhtar, Abdullah Shafiq, Foxcrot, Phil Salt, Harry Brook. So these are good players. So let's see what happens. I mean, anything can happen, right? I mean, Multan get their groove together. I mean, Karachi, Babar fires this tournament. It's over, right? He can bat 20 overs every game. And then Zalmi has the firepower in their bowling too, right? They've got Wahab Riaz, Usman Kader. So there's some bowling, you know, Liam Livingston. So they've got some over there as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm gonna go Lahore Qalandars to win the entire tournament. All right, so that's who's gonna win. Who do you think is gonna fail?
This is where I'm going on a limb a little bit, but Multan Sultans for me. Statistically, based on last season, venue-wise, where they were playing,
right,
as well as they relied way too heavily on Dani and Rizwan. And if either one doesn't click the same way they did in 2021,
right,
it's game over. From my standpoint, I mean, they've got really good you can't write out anyone, and it's really difficult to choose who's going to end at the bottom of the table.
Right.
But I like statistics, and something told me that this was going to be that way.
Right. In my opinion, it's going to be Quetta. I just don't understand the Omar Akmal pick. He might not even play. I'm still stuck on that. I mean, if you were an owner and you're sitting there and you're thinking, who am I going to pick? Omar Akmal should not be even in the radar. They should not be in the conversation. And
maybe he paid to play.
Maybe
the other way around.
I don't know. I think that was Kamran Akmal after he rejected his initial contract. Yeah. I think they will struggle this time around. You know, and even their bowling, right? The same Shah Mohammad Hassan. These are not seasoned bowlers, right? Mm-hmm. Iftikhar Ahmed, by the way, will make a difference. So he might be the one who proves me wrong, but. And they have Sohail Tanveer. So, you know, Sohail Tanveer and Naseem Shah Mohammad Hassan, I don't know. That's not a, you know, do well. But, you know, it's T20. Let's see what happens. So you're going Multan to flop. I'm going Quetta. All right, pick your batsman and bowler of the tournament. Let me start with
Babar Azam?
Okay, going Babar Azam. Okay. Yeah.
You can pick your bowler first, I guess.
Okay. My bowler of this tournament will probably, oh man, let's see. I haven't really thought about this. I'm going to go with, it's going to be a spinner. Yeah, it's not going to be a fast bowler. I'm going to go spinner with, give me a second. I'm looking at the teams. I mean, Imran Tahir is there.
Rashid Khan,
Rashid Khan, Osman Kader, Shadab. Zafar Gohar is there too, right? You know what? I'm gonna take a long shot here. I'm gonna go bowler of the tournament will be Usman Kader. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I take all of that back. I take that back. Bowler of the tournament is going to.
If we're doing points here, I'm gonna be cooking here, man.
No, bowler of the tournament is Wahab Riaz.
I can see that happening. He did really well last season.
And by the way, bowler of the tournament just means most wickets, right?
Yeah. Okay. And if it's tie on wickets, then economy rate.
Okay, who are you gonna go with bowler of the tournament?
Shaheen Shah Afridi.
Okay.
I think he's gonna overcome the whole burden thing that I mentioned earlier.
Right.
And he's still gonna perform well with the ball.
Okay.
What about your batsman?
My batsman of the tournament is going to be. You know what? I'm probably gonna have to say Babar Azam. I mean, it's hard to look past that, right?
You could always pick Rizwan. I mean, those two are just.
No, well, that depends on if Multan go far too, right? Which I do think they will, but Rizwan is a good pick. There's a lot to be said about players like Jason Roy, and then if you look at, for example, Islamabad United, Alex Hales. These guys can also fire big in a tournament. But I think someone who's used
These are Pakistani conditions, man.
That's what I'm saying. Someone who's used to the Pakistani conditions. I mean, it's hard to look past Babar Azam. It's hard to look past Mohammad Rizwan and say confidently that, this is going to be... Okay, so we're both going with Babar Azam.
What I'm really surprised is that you didn't say Shan Masood.
Oh, man. I like Sean, but he's not made out for T20.
He's for T20, right?
Yeah. He might get most dot balls, but no, I'm not going with Sean Masood there. Okay, so all right, so we thought about doing some sort of a head-to-head competition for this just to make it interesting. Do you want to go over that?
Yeah, let's do it. So the point system. Faizan and I will cover the entire PSL. We'll try to hit at least 2 videos a week. But what we're going to do is we're going to predict the game's outcomes. And based on how correct we are, we're going to start racking up points and see at the end of the season who wins, whether it's Faizan and I. And so some of the points we're looking at, it's not going to be like fantasy crazy. We don't have that much time. But guessing the right match winner is 1 point. And then winning the tournament. So I said Islamabad United. You said Lahore Qalandars, right?
Correct.
Yep. So winning the tournament, guessing that right is 5 points. Worst team in tournament is 5 points. Best batsman is 5 points. And best bowler is 5 points. And so with those points, did I miss anything, Faizan?
No, that's it. But let's add something. Let's add. I would like to go with most sixes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most sixes. Who do you think?
Let me just quickly go through this list here.
Yeah, let's think about.
All right.
Yeah. Who do you think?
What do you think?
For me personally,
there's Asif Ali. There's Sharjeel. There is Ifti So Nifty.
Right. I can go first.
Asif Ali has been promoting himself so much lately. By the way, have you noticed that?
Has he? Where?
Like his 6 hitting ability on Instagram and just things like that. Like,
I don't think I follow.
Remember the name, kind of like remember the name, and then I don't know. It felt a little too much, so I was like, man, you got to live up to that name now. So how many sixes is he gonna hit next time?
He's been talking to Umar Akmal. All right, I'll start. Who I think is gonna hit the most sixes?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Mohammad Rizwan.
No.
Yeah. He's gonna face the most balls.
We're not talking about most. We're just talking about number of sixes.
He's gonna face the most balls. I mean, if Multan go far, he's gonna face the most balls in this tournament. He likes to stay there for 20 overs, and he has 6 hitting capabilities. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah. What about Shaheen Afridi?
He's gonna play like 2 games.
Oh man, come on! That breaks my heart, man. I'll watch all those games just for him.
Nah, not Shaheen Afridi. Maybe 10 years ago, but yeah, I think I'm happy with my pick in Mohammad Rizwan.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. Asif Ali's batting might come in handy quite a bit, considering their bowling isn't good. They're gonna need a lot of runs, so they're gonna need somebody that hits a lot of sixes. Asif Ali and Sharjeel Khan. You know what? I'm gonna go with Sharjeel.
Sharjeel. So you think, okay, Sharjeel. So he plays for
Karachi
Kings, right? So you think that's fair enough. All right, so then there's that, and then we're having a 5 points for the winner, 5 points for finalists. Oh yeah, who do you think is going to end up with? You think Islamabad's going to win, right? Who do you think is going to be the second finalist?
Aren't you asking me tough questions now?
Well, that's another 5 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Peshawar Zami.
You think it's going to be Peshawar? Okay, I personally think it's going to be Qalandars. And you know what? You completely flipped my mind on this whole Multan thing. I think it's going to be Lahore versus Peshawar too. So I think we'll have a bit of a tie there. But Lahore to win, and you think Islamabad's going to win, right? Okay, are we missing anything?
Yeah, so the last 6 games.
Oh, the first 6 games. How can I forget?
Yeah, or the first 6 games. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Already at the end of the season.
All right, so first game, Karachi Kings, Multan Sultans. I'm taking Multan.
I'm going to take Karachi Kings for that one.
Okay. Quetta versus Peshawar. Who are you taking?
Peshawar.
Peshawar. Okay, I'm taking Peshawar too. Qalandars versus Multan.
I've got Lahore Qalandars for that one.
I've got Multan. So I'm saying very hypocritical things that I've changed my mind, but I'm picking Multan.
That's because you're changing your mind on the fly here.
I don't know, man. Multan is a very funny team. They're such a weirdly built team that I don't know. But I'm gonna stick with my gut. Multan on that one.
Okay.
Karachi, Quetta.
Karachi Kings.
Karachi Kings. I'm gonna agree with you there. Karachi Kings.
Yeah.
Okay, so wherever it's a tie, let's go with who you think is going to score the most runs. So just back to Quetta, Peshawar. We both said Peshawar, but who do you think is going to score the most runs?
I'm gonna go with Heather Ali.
Heather Ali. I'm going to go with Jason Roy on that one. Okay, Karachi Kings and Quetta. We both say Karachi, and I'm guessing we're both.
Will Jason Roy be playing?
I don't know. I've done no research on has he reached Pakistan or not, but I'm gonna go with that. Karachi,
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, Karachi versus Quetta. I think we're both gonna say Babar on that. Okay, so we'll just leave it at that.
I'll change it up.
Okay.
I'll say Sharjeel.
Sharjeel? Okay, fine. I'll take Babar. Okay, and then the last 2 games, Peshawar versus Islamabad. I've got Peshawar.
I've got Islamabad United.
Okay, and then Karachi versus Lahore. I've got Lahore.
Karachi Kings.
Okay, so there you
So
have.
we're only matching on 2, huh?
Yeah, 2. Karachi versus Quetta and Quetta versus Zami. So we both agree that Quetta sucks.
Yeah.
That they're not gonna win.
But I was actually going on a limb to say Multan might be last.
Right. So I did say Quetta would finish last, but so at least I'm inconsistent on that. If I'm not consistent with Multan, but yeah, it should be a good PSL. Are you gonna wake up at 8 a.m.?
Oh yeah. Well, I should be already up because I'm going to work tomorrow.
Right. Oh right. Yeah, me too.
Just in case your coworkers are watching.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, Albert, I'm gonna wake up. No, now my kid wakes me up at 6 a.m. every day without fail, and then decides to bounce on my chest for 2 hours. But yeah, it should be a good tournament. Is there any final remarks?
No, just again, thanks for. I know it was a really small milestone for us, 250 unique views, but we dearly support everybody that watches us. We dearly appreciate anybody that watches us, and please do click the subscribe button so we can send you notifications through YouTube when new episodes come out.
Yeah, same here. Please like, subscribe, and we will probably reconvene after those 6 games and probably do another prediction for the following weeks. But yeah, it should be a good tournament, and thank you for watching, and we will see you later. Thank you.